Today is Tuesday. We're working on Letterland Unit 4, and our learning target is I can tell how Magic E can make long vowel sounds in syllables. And we learned that is a new syllable type, Magic E. So we're going to go to and do a quick review, and we're going to look at some of the sounds that we have been looking at in the past few weeks, mainly, last week. And so what we have here is FF. Does anybody remember the story for that one? The sound? Okay. And then we go FF is the sound. So it's a little bit different with a quick coding kind of thing, or a quick review. It's a little bit different because we've got double letters. So let's do this. Ooh. This is Lucy Lamplight and her cousin Linda Lamplight. And they just make the ooh sound. And they're always at the end of words. So whenever you have double letters, you usually see those at the end of words. And here we have Sammy Snake's best friend and with his sister Sally. And they love making the hissing sound together in words. S at the end of words. Okay. What about this? Noisy Nick and Golden Girl. They really enjoy meeting each other in a word. And they show they are glad by making a singing sound. So we hear ng, singing sound. Okay, we learned about this one yesterday, W and R. When you see these two troublesome letterlanders in a word, you won't hear Walter Morris. When Red Robot overpowers him, he is too startled to speak. So we only hear R, R. We don't hear the W sound at all when you see W, R together in letters. And we have here Walter Morris again. Now he's a troublemaker in this one. When he finds Harry Hatman in his way, he gets angry and splashes his hat off. Then Harry is too surprised to make any sound. So in this one, we just hear wha, wha. Don't hear the H sound at all. And then we learned about this one. Quarrelsome Queen refuses to go anywhere in words without her royal umbrella. So don't forget to write Q-U, not just Q, when you hear her qua sound. Notice her umbrella's got a crown just like she does. So some of those we learned from last week. Okay, now we're going to look at some words that have this in them with an A. Let's sound this one out. S-n. It's in the middle, so we would hear Annie Apple. A. Remember, this one just makes one sound. K. It's a diagram. So tap it out with me. S-n. A. K. Snack. Like you want to eat a snack if you're hungry. Okay. Now, an interesting thing happens when we add a silent magic E to this word. Let me see if I can get it to fit in here. Barely. See if I can move that up. As close as I can get right there. Now look at that. Does that look like when you see the words that it's spelled like a word that you've ever seen before? No. Now, let me put my sparks right here. My little wand. Now, how many letters did we say that this magic wand can go over? Yes, it can only shoot over one letter. And you can see that if we leave Clever Cat and Kicking King here, the sparks will fall on Clever Cat. Now, she is afraid the sparks might burn her furry coat, so she gets out of the way fast. And that leaves only Kicking King making the K sound there. And now magic E sparks can reach the vowel and make Mr. A appear magically. And let's see what word we have now. So let's tap it out. S, N, A, K. And then we don't hear this one. S, N, A, K. Snake. So snack becomes snake. Snack eaten by a snake. What could that be? Now, this is all one syllable words. There's been one bounce. We're going to take a look at a multi-syllable word. Multi means more than one. Now, it's going to be another long one, so let's hope I can get everything in here. I get some of the letters from that word we just had made, so let me put them in there. I might can kind of put them over the top of each other a little bit. Ooh, yeah, this is a long one. You can't see that last one. Yeah, let me try this. Oh, there we go. It's a little bit better. Okay. That card did. Ooh, that's a long word. So let's sound this out. Is, miss. That's the first syllable. Miss. Now let's look at the second syllable. T. But look right here. It's in the middle or between consonants, so you'd think it'd be Annie Apple. But here's an E. Shooting sparks over one letter. So it'd be Mr. A. T. A. K. Take. Mistake. 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 You got something wrong and made a mistake. Okay? All right, so we got mistake. 2 syllables. Here's a 2-syllable word. So I'm going to separate the syllables and let's look at one of them at a time. Is. That is ink in there because he's feeling comfortable. He's got 2. So it's a closed syllable type. This word has 2 syllables. So we got one that's a closed syllable. And let's look at this one. We know this is got, let me move this one over. We already got it taken care of. Now let's move this. Got that E over here. Shooting sparks over one letter. So we have Mr. A. So this is a magic E syllable type. Right here is a closed syllable. And this one is a magic E syllable. 2 syllables in this word. Boy, it takes your breath away. It's a lot of letters in that word, but we've got it. So I am going to switch back over to our screen. We did our quick review. Now we're going to look at our tricky words. Now let's look at this one. I've already coded it to show you some of the things that are wrong. We know that QU goes Q. And then here we have an I and an E and a T. So if we know QU goes together, we need to look at the I and the E. Now when you have 2 vowels out walking, you usually just hear the first one doing the talking and the second one silent. But that's not how you say this word. I've made it into 2 syllables. Do you see how I've got my syllable train cars? I've got QUI together and then ET together. Okay? Now, I know I've got a lot of things. I've dotted my vowels. I've done my train cars. And then I went to code where they're not quite right. What's happening here is in this word, QUI, you're hearing Mr. I at the end of this, so he is shouting out his name, Qui, Qui. And right here is et, quiet, quiet. Now this looks very similar. Watch this. We looked at the word quit yesterday. And then we also looked at the word, we added a magic E at the end and made it into quite. Quit, quite, and then quiet. This is can be very confusing. So you have to look at where the letters are, especially the E. If there's no E in it at all, it's just quit. Quit it. Quit. There's no E. The E is quit. But if the E is at the end, it is a silent one, and it makes that be Mr. I right there, and it's quite. You are quite right. But if the E is in front of the T, that's all the difference between this one and quiet. It's quiet if the E is in front of the T. This is one of the most confusing things, and even me as an adult, I have to stop and think, where is the E at? And what word is it if it does not have an E? If the E's at the end, it's silent, making that be Mr. I. And if it's in front of the T, it's et, quiet. Okay. So we'll really focus on these a little bit to make sure we're looking at them correctly, okay? Now we have another word down here. And it's a tricky word because I've got them dotted, the letters that are tricky in this and not following the rules. A lot of times when we call them tricky words, they're not following the rules of what we're learning about open and closed syllables and magic E syllable types. So this is the word everyone. Everyone. See, I've got 3 train cars, 3 bounces. Everyone. Everyone. 3 bounces. So let's look at this first one. What kind of syllable type should it be? Well, I've got this E, ev. All right, this should be silent E, but it should be shooting sparks over here. And this should be making it be Mr. E. E, everyone. We don't say it that way. So this E right here is silent, but he's not doing his part to shoot the sparks over there. And now we still have Eddie Elephant over here, eh. So that's why this syllable's not right. Now, re. Y can make an E sound. See how E's in the middle of the Y, opening of the Y? Or it can make an I sound. Right here, he's making an E sound. So this one is not breaking any rule right here. And the Y is taking the place of a vowel of E sound. But this one over here, remember we said squiggly lines if it's not doing the right thing? This here is a magic E, silent E. We don't hear E at the end of this word. So the sparks go over one letter, over the N. And this should be Mr. O right here then. Own. And that's not how we say it. We say one. So the O is not making the right sound either. It's not making an O sound, and it's not making Oscar orange, on. It is one. It's almost like making a W sound. So if I was to follow the rules of what vowel the syllables should be with the vowels, I should be saying every own. Every own needs to come here. No, we say it everyone. So really 2 syllables, the first one and the last one's breaking rules. They're not following the rules. So that's why these are tricky words. Okay. These are these are about the trickiest words I've seen so far this time. Really tricky words this week. All right. Now let's take a look. Ready to start our quick coding. And what I'm going to do, I should have already done this, is I'm going to try to make a copy of the quick coding chart, which you should have a paper copy, but I'll try to get another one on here as well, so you'll have it to refer to. So let's look at the first sentence. It says, when we unfolded the shapes, they became white snowflakes. Okay, so let's look at the word shapes. And let's dot our vowels. A and E. Okay, now the next thing we're supposed to do is to circle any suffixes. Do we have a base word that has a suffix that's added to the end of it? We do. S is a suffix and shape by itself is a whole word, so we get to circle this one. Okay. Our next step is to box into any consonant digraphs. And that means, are there any letters, two consonants side by side, that's making a brand new sound when they're together? We have S and H, sh. They make a whole new sound. So we're going to box those two letters. Now our next step is to make a train car for each syllable. So remember, when we're doing that, we're only going to do it for the base word. We don't include the endings and the suffixes. So we're only going to do it for shape. So let's do our train, our bounce. You can use your hand, and this is going to be like my hand. I'm going to go shape. How many bounces did I do? Shape, 1. So I'm going to draw 1 train car under shape. Then it says to identify the syllable type with its initial. Okay, what do we have here? Do we have a closed or open, or do we have a magic E? Remember, we've got magic E now. We have a magic E at the end, so we're going to put an E down below it. And then we are to code the vowel sounds. So right here, this is a magic E, so I'm going to do the slash line through the E to show it's a magic 1. And then I'm going to do the red dots going over the P and the arrow showing that it lands on the vowel on the other side. 1 letter is all that can go over. And then I'm going to code it with a macron with a straight line above it. And then our last thing to do is read the word. So let's read the whole word. Shapes. And there we have coded shapes. Okay, now let's come down here to became. Became, we need to dot our vowels. So we have an E, an A, and another E. Do we have any suffixes and ending to a base word? No. So let's go to number 3's directions. Box any consonant digraphs. No, we've got all the consonants have a vowel in between them, so none of them side by side. So we skip that one as well. Now we need to make a train car for each syllable. All right, so let's go ahead and do our syllable bounce. Became. Became. I did 2. I've got B and I've got came. Now we need to identify the syllable type with its initial. So here's where we go, and we're looking at one of them at a time. So let's look at B first. B. Is it open, closed, or magic E? Well, it's not magic E because we're hearing the E, and it's shouting out his name at the end of a syllable. So it is open. He's shouting it out. It's Mr. E right there. Let's look at came. Came. Mr. A's right there, and he's in between letters. But remember, we don't hear the E here, so it is shooting sparks. It's a magic E shooting sparks. So it is a magic E vowel type. Now we have to go and code the vowel sounds. So we have an open vowel sound. It's Mr. E, so he is getting a macron. And here we said it's a magic E. So this magic E has a wand shooting sparks over one letter, landing on the vowel on the other side, and it is Mr. A. So we do a straight line of macron. And then we say the word became. All right. Now your job is to do your quick coding to invite, snake, and hike. You can do it here. You could do it over here. I don't know if you got much room. There's not much room in between them. Or you can do it on a piece of paper and take a picture of it and put it on here. But make sure on this page, it's your responsibility. You are to do the quick coding for these. That's part of your job for doing your Tuesday's work. Then on the next page, you're going to write the highlighted words and sentences 2 times each and take a picture and put it on here. So Tuesday has 2 things you need to do. Quick coding these 3 words, and it didn't take me long to quick code this, so it shouldn't take you too long. You're all getting pretty experts on this. And then write your words 2 times each. And you see the stop sign. That's all we need for Tuesday. And if anytime you have any trouble with the quick coding, come back and watch this video on here, and it'll help you with looking at what we do, and you can pause it and go to yours at each time and check it out. All right, I hope you do well, and remember, I'm here if you got any questions, or your teacher, any teacher's available for you to help you out. Have a great Tuesday.